Emotional Intelligence Workout, day 2 of 7, and what a treat to have you on the other side of the screen, and just a huge welcome. Now I'm going to be working on a piece of paper and a pencil once again. Feel free to do the same, or you can just work in your own head, in your own space as well. But let's go right into our warm-up exercise, and you can see on the screen here a handful of different patterns, and your task is to see if you can find an emotion that finishes that sequence, that completes that pattern. And there's multiple different emotions that could fit into that answer, into that slot. So go ahead, see if you can do that, pause the screen, and just continue when you've either completed them all or you feel like you're ready to go on. So over to you. Wonderful, so we're gonna go into emotions of the week now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reflect back over our last week and identify the different emotions we felt. The ones that lifted us up and the ones that brought us down as well. So there's no right or wrong answer to this. It's just reflecting on your last week. What are the different emotions that you experienced? So over to you. We're going to do this for 1 minute. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Champions, that was the minute done and dusted just like that. So we're going to move on to the B.E.N exercise right now. And for the B.E.N exercise, what I want you to do is just go ahead and pick one emotion off the back of the emotions of the week exercise that you've just done, and pick one emotion that you'd like to explore in greater depth. So over to you, go ahead and pick one emotion that you'd like to explore. Fantastic. Okay, so on to the B, which stands for build up. So we're going to do 30 seconds of this, and what I want you to explore is what was the build up to that emotion, what might have triggered or sparked or caused that emotion to come about for you. And there's so many different ways that emotion could have come about. It's maybe something that you did or that you didn't do, or something that someone else said or didn't say or didn't do. It could have just been what's going on in the world or in your space. Whatever it was that triggered that emotion, that sparked that emotion, that was the build up to the emotion. So over to you. Let's go ahead and reflect on that for 30 seconds. So 3, 2, 1, go. Wonderful. Now, if you need any more time for any of these exercises, of course, just feel free to pause the screen and just continue at your own pace. But let's go on to E now, which stands for effect. So this one is looking after you had that emotion. What did that emotion make you do? Maybe it made you do something, behave in a certain way, speak or not speak in a certain way. So it's just exploring what was the aftermath, what was the consequences of having that emotion. So again, 30 seconds of just exploring the effect. Wonderful. Okay, so on to the N, which stands for next. So here, it's about imagining you were in that situation once again. Imagine it's tomorrow or next week. What would you do in that situation? And so if it was an emotion that you would have liked to shift in some way, how could you have shifted that? What could you have done differently? But if it was an emotion that you had just an absolute fantastic time relishing in that emotion, how could you bring that about once again? So 30 seconds exploring the next. What would you do if you were in that situation once again? Over to you. Excellent. So there's 30 seconds just like that. So we're going to go on to differences now. In this exercise, you can see I'm bringing the emotion wheel back up. I'm just going to put it to the side for a bit and then I'll bring it back up in full. But what I want us to do is to identify a couple of emotions that are very similar to each other. And so, for example, happy and elated, or elated and excited, rage and anger, or shame and guilt. Emotions that are very similar to each other. And as you can tell by the title of this exercise, our task is to see if we can figure out what is the difference between the two of those. So again, I'm just going to give us a minute actually for this. And so if you work through one pair, feel free to go on to a second one as well, but it's just exploring, or a third one, just exploring differences between very similar emotions. So let's go ahead and do that for a minute. So 3, 2, 1, let's dive in. Wonderful. So let's go on to our last exercise of the workout, which is an emotion check-in. So we're going to spend 30 seconds just exploring what are the different emotions that you're feeling right now off the back of what's going on in your world, in your space at the moment. And I'm going to put the emotion wheel back up in full in a quick moment, but see if you can identify the different emotions you're feeling without using the emotion wheel first, and then use that as a backup, as a support, as a reference if you need to. But let's go ahead and dive right on in. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Thank you as always for diving into the workout, and excited to see you on the next one. All right, toodle pip.